Cheesy the Podcast, presented by Just Cheesy Productions.
Hi there, I'm your host Fondue.
I'm Cheesy.
In this week's episode, we're celebrating National Cheese Curd Day.
Ooh.
We're talking history of curds, what they are and why they squeak.
Wow.
We're going to talk about types of curd, way to eat curd, how to make curd,
Whoa.
and some dedicated curd festivals.
Holy
And
cow.
of course, we're going to tell a very cheesy joke.
I love a joke.
Stay tuned for episode 105, Curd is the Word, on Just Cheesy, the podcast. According to nationaltoday.com, National Cheese Curd Day was on October 15th.
We missed it.
Yes, but I did have some yesterday.
What is cheese curd?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
A lot of us have heard about curds way back when we were little kids.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, the nursery rhyme we all know as Little Miss Muffet was published back in 1805.
Holy cow.
You know the one, Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet eating her curds and whey.
Yeah.
The description of a curd is kind of gross.
Yeah.
Wikipedia says that cheese curds are moist pieces of curdled milk.
Blech.
According to allrecipes.com, and I quote, curds are a byproduct of coagulating milk, a
Ew.
process also known as curdling.
Ew.
They say coagulation happens when you add an acid like lemon juice or vinegar to dairy.
Ugh.
And what sounds gross
Yeah.
is actually the building block of a lot of different cheese production.
Oh.
Curds get made, they're pressed and drained, and then added with different things depending on the type of cheese being made.
Whoa.
But when these little clumps of cheese are not used as a building block for things like cheddar, they're often eaten as a snack.
Really?
And in my opinion, the taste is so good.
Yeah.
They often have a mild flavor.
Okay.
They range in color from white to yellow and orange.
Wow.
Wikipedia describes it as firm and dense with a springy texture.
Whoa.
And I don't know if you know this, but fresh curds actually squeak in your mouth against your teeth.
They do?
That's why it's sometimes referred to as squeaky cheese. But why?
Ah.
According to WisconsinCheese.com, they say that you have to look at the building blocks of cheese, which is protein.
Okay.
They say on a microscopic level, cheese curd is made up of proteins that are bound together with calcium.
Really?
So when you bite into the curd, the protein and calcium rubs against the enamel on your teeth,
Whoa.
making a squeaking sound.
Squeak.
The peak squeak
Peak squeak.
is for the first few days of a curd's life.
Whoa.
They say after a few days, the calcium-protein bonds that cause the squeakiness begin to break.
Whoa.
This doesn't mean it's gone bad.
It doesn't?
In fact, I was today years old when I found out you can actually make your cheese curds squeak again.
You can?
Put your cheese curds in the microwave for 3 to 5 seconds. They say
Whoa.
this rebonds the calcium and protein structures, amping up the squeak factor.
Wow.
They call this re-squeakification. But
Whoa.
don't microwave it for too long, you'll actually melt the curds.
Yeah.
Not all curds are cute and squeaky.
They're not?
Some of them are like cottage cheese or farmer's cheese.
Whoa.
Another one is called quark.
Quark.
Quark is soft, white, unaged, and usually has no salt added.
Whoa.
Sometimes cheese curd goes beyond those little nuggets of goodness.
It
They
does?
sometimes get kneaded and transformed into what's called stretched curd cheeses.
Whoa.
And they're also known as pulled curd or plastic curd. And
Okay.
I know what you're thinking. That doesn't sound very good either.
Nope.
This also sounds kind of gross. The cheeses manufactured from this technique undergo a plasticizing
What?
and kneading treatment of the fresh curd in hot water, which gives it a fibrous
Ugh.
structure. Now, you think it sounds gross, but I guarantee you've had it and you love it.
I don't know.
Ever heard of mozzarella?
Yeah.
Mozzarella is made using a technique called pasta filata.
Whoa.
It starts off like a lot of other cheeses. It gets
Okay.
cut into pieces. The whey is drained off.
No way.
But it rests for a few hours.
Ooh.
And then the curds are steeped for a few hours in a bath of very hot water or whey.
Bath?
Once the balls of cheese begin to float, the
Whoa.
liquid's removed, the curd is mixed and kneaded, and then it becomes soft, elastic, and stringy in texture.
Whoa.
Other types of pulled cheese, things like string cheese,
Ooh.
provolone,
Mm.
Oaxaca cheese, and halloumi.
Yum.
The makers of mozzarella cheese are not sponsors.
Nope.
But if they were, their ad would go right here. Have you ever wanted to listen to the web?
Yeah.
Well, Newsly makes that possible.
They do?
They're an all-in-one audio super app for iOS and Android.
Super app.
You can listen to trending articles on the web on topics that you choose and get them read to you in a natural human voice.
What kind of topics?
Sports,
Cheese?
tech, business, science.
Cheese?
I'm sure there's even cheese.
Yay!
They even have an entire section for podcasts.
Are we there?
Of course we are.
Ooh.
It's one of my new favorite podcast apps. They even have digital radio.
Holy cow.
Just go to www.newsly.me to download it free.
Whoa.
Or use the link in the description. If you use the promo code cheesy.
Cheesy.
That'll get you 1 month free premium subscription.
Yay, Newsly.
Now, back to the podcast. I have two favorite standout curd cheese dishes.
No way.
The first one, of course, is poutine.
Ooh.
Canadians, this one is for you.
Yeah.
This is a delicious dish of French fries,
Yum.
cheese curds,
Yum.
topped with a hot brown gravy.
Yummy.
This dish hit Quebec back in the 1950s,
Whoa.
and it's only been growing in popularity since.
Wow.
We talked about this delicious dish in episode 73 and 178. Check them out.
Yeah, we did.
Americans have probably eaten this in the form of fried cheese curds.
Ooh, yeah.
WisconsinCheese.com talks about making them at home. They say the batter is light, flavorful, and crisp, and
Yum.
their secret to achieving this
What?
is using lager beer.
Whoa.
They say it adds a malty, rich flavor, and the carbonation helps to keep the batter airy. But let's say you want to make cheese curd at home. Well, you can.
Yeah.
According to allrecipes.com, that is.
Okay.
I'm sorry, All Recipes, but this one kind of cracks me up a little bit because it
Yeah.
talks about not living close to some place you can get cheese curds.
Okay.
But I'd venture to say some of the ingredients in this are hard to obtain.
Ooh.
They talk about whole milk, easy, water,
Okay.
salt, great. Then they talk about liquid rennet,
What?
mesophilic culture, and calcium chloride crystals. Come on.
Yeah.
For the items you can't get at the grocery, we've got a link in our show notes to our Amazon list.
Ooh.
There's a website called cheesemaking.com.
Whoa.
This is a company in New England for cheese making.
Ooh.
Now, making it yourself is not going to be cheap. It's about
Nope.
$31 on their website,
Ooh.
but boy, would it be fun.
Yeah.
Did you know that there is a cheese curd festival?
What?
Well, in 2026, on June 26th and 27th in Ellsworth, Wisconsin, according to cheesecurdfestival.com,
Ooh.
they're going to have 6,000 pounds of cheese curds.
Holy cow.
30 craft beers, hard ciders, local wines,
Whoa.
20 plus cheese curd food dishes,
Holy cow.
live music, a car show. It sounds like a delight.
Yum.
According to westernmassnews.com, back in 2024, there was a cheese curd toss at the Colby Cheese Days.
Ooh.
They say the premise is simple. You take a chunk of cheese,
Yeah.
you loosen up your shoulder, and you give it a throw.
Whoa.
And the throws are unlimited. They cost $2 each, and they go back to the city of Colby.
Nice.
They say it's one of the only times you'll ever have a chance to become a world champion.
I'm ready for a joke, Fondue.
Okay, why doesn't cheese curd play hide and seek?
I don't know.
Because it always lets out a little squeak.
Oh,
Get it? It lets out a little squeak.
yeah, that was
Oh,
funny.
I love this one.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit cheesy. Thanks for listening to Just Cheesy the Podcast, episode 105, Curd is the Word.
Thank you.
We're active on all the socials. Please feel free to
Yep.
reach out to us if you've got an idea for an episode you'd like us to cover.
And stay cheesy, everybody.